looking for more of the same here.
Yeah, particularly that battle of second within the Twin Spark category was the race-long battle that was interesting to watch. Just looking at social media post here with Barry McMahon, it says there was a problem with the splitter affecting the handling in the first race. However, he's expecting to take the lap record in race 2. However, if he's not there, that would be rather more difficult. But I was just wondering if he was at the back, well, he's not.
Didn't see him coming down the pit lane either.
No, so perhaps haven't been able to fix the problem with the splitter, or a problem, another problem, unsure, but he's not there, it would seem, which opens this race up somewhat, I would suspect.
It does really, doesn't it? AD Hawkins still has the lap record of 1:19.593. In the earlier race, then, how close was it behind Barry McMahon? Well, it's still 22 seconds between Graham Seeger and Scott Austin, and then another 5 seconds back to Vincent Dubois.
And this time Scott Austin should be going from the back of the front class. Oh yes, there he is, car 55. So watch out for him and Richard Thurbin, who found more pace as the race went on for him. So we've got a couple of cars sort of coming from the back with speed, and then you've got the Mito that had the problems earlier of Riccardo Lascelli, who again in qualifying, he was a few seconds slower than Graham Seeger, wasn't he? So it may be Seeger's race, but it should be some good battling behind him.
Absolutely. So see the cars on the front weaving around. Tom Hill particularly enthusiastically, the Mahindra Formula E design engineer, who's been a 3-time champion in the Twin Spark Cup within the Alfas, getting heat into the tyres because they are on slicks in that class. The Twin Spark Cup cars further back, they run on a controlled Yokohama tyre, and they are less enthusiastic about their cars back, but they're still doing a little bit of moving around because they see the guys in front doing it, I suspect, more than anything else.
With Tom Hill, the champion, moving away from the Twin Spark Cup this year, it's rather left Andrew Bork alone up front, hasn't it? 3 seconds quicker in qualifying and dominated that. So much so, we started to wonder if he was actually in that class.
Yeah, no, it was a really strong performance. He's only having his third full season of racing. He started in 2016. That ended with a big crash at Brands Hatch, which was quite well documented. Then he bounced back and took the title in 2017. Late in 2018, had a year out last year, I think.
But not last year, that was the
year before. Yeah, year before, perhaps those 2 years the whole way around. But has had a year out in between times. So this is only his third full season of racing. There's the lovely Lancia of Richard Thurbin, which plays with other clubs and at Mallory Park in the club pudding meeting, of course, on occasion. So, on his own on row 1, the Peak Alpha of Graham Seeger. That's the 3.2 litre GTV for the 2015 champion. And just behind him then Tom Hill in the GT. So it's a modified car on pole. It's a Power Trophy car, well, effectively pole, Power Trophy car in second position. And then you've got the Mito third, which didn't really show too well in the first race, did it, of Riccardo Lascelli. So let's see what he can do this time around.
Qualifying pace obviously hooks him up though. Obviously had some sort of problem in race 1. We saw him in the pit lane at one point, but he never had any kind of pace. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do this time. Maybe see the likes of Tom Hill come through at the start here. See him enthusiastically getting that car up to temperature. Let's see if he can make a good start.
Red lights go on then. And the first part of the race gets underway. Good start by Tom Hill from the second row. I think he is going to get ahead of Graham Seeger. Yes, he has done, as they make their way through and up towards Riches for the first time. A Union flag drops in the background for the Twin Spark Cup race to get underway as well. It's going to be down to third place for Graham Seeger because Dave Messenger's gone through on the inside as well at Riches Corner and up into second place. So they head off up towards the Wilson hairpin for the first time in this 20-minute race. So Tom Hill leading, Dave Messenger second. They were first and second in the championship last year as well. And then the rest of them going through. And the Twin Spark Cup cars, I just caught sight of in the background. I think it was probably Andrew Bork that was leading the way. But we'll pick those up in a minute as we watch the main group head down the Bentley Straight into Brundle and Nelson for the first time. Tom Hill leading, then Graham Seeger's gone back to second place in that more powerful modified class car, as you'd expect. He's got ahead of Dave Messenger now.
And how long can Tom Hill stay ahead? Well, he's getting away, isn't he, early on? The Mito's running better, it would seem, running there in fourth place. Here's a challenge, car 21, the Fiat Punto Abarth for Simon McPhee. Guess who's behind him? It's Chris McPhee, the two Puntos absolutely together, much like they were in the earlier race, trying to get past one of the Alfas there. But here's Tom Hill, sideways, and then accelerating away. So really flamboyant driving from Tom Hill in this race. But it's quick too, obviously. Winning within his class earlier on, and he leads the way, but he's being chased down the straight by the Alfa GTV of Graham Seeger. Has he got enough power to get ahead by Ritchie's? Let's see. No, I think Tom Hill held on, but good to see the meter going well. It says 27 on the side. I think it should be 277 of Riccardo Lascelli.
There is the change for the race lead. It's Graham Seeger on the inside of Tom Hill. Tom Hill up on 3 wheels at Wilton Hairpin, and he has to give best. So Peak Alpha ahead of Revs Italia now at the front of the field. And that Roger Evans prepared GT for Tom Hill. They head off down the Bentley Straight for the second time in this race. Looks like Dave Messenger is third, but he's coming under fire from the Mito here, isn't he? Of Riccardo Lascelli, he's down the inside, and it looks like Lascelli's taken third place away from him here.
A bit further back, Scott Austin making progress in the 155, slipping up the inside of Andrew Inman's less powerful 156. Just up ahead of them, 34 there, George Osborne in the Alfa 75. And the two Puntos have been separated. Drama.
Oh my word. I mean, Richard Thurbin here has not read the script, has he? He has got himself between the two of them. That is not how it worked in this Alfa Romeo Championship. Anyway, here's George Osborne with the 55 car of Scott Austin right behind him. And Austin, as you say, has made some decent progress during the course of this race so far.
Looking back here to the twin Spark leader briefly, that was Andrew Bork.
And he's not that far ahead of Simon Creswell this time. He's not sort of got away as quickly as he did in the earlier race, I don't think.
Creswell much further up than he was in the previous race on the others. He's sort of 3 seconds ahead, so Creswell made a much better start. Interesting to see if he can go with Andrew Bork in race 2. There's Scott Austin, so he's got ahead now and getting away from that gaggle behind. Richard Thurbin is now back ahead of Simon McPhee, so the two Puntos can get right back together again. Thurbin 8th therefore. Here come the leaders. The Mito going for second this time. Lascelli up the inside of Hill, and he's done it. Yes, he has. And he's only a couple of seconds away from Graham Seeger, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do about Seeger there. Meanwhile, Andrew Bork is 3 seconds ahead of Simon Creswell in the Twin Spark Cup. But as you say, not getting away like he did in race 1. But looking at the Mito, good looking car that is. Interesting to see. Certainly not many of them racing in the UK. And we've got that really low splitter on it, but no real rear wing on it, which is an interesting design. Going much better in this race, and like he sorted the problems out from race 1. And here are the Twin Spark battlers, again involving car number 2, Geffen Llewellyn.
Yeah, just behind the 26 car of Stephen O'Brien as well, and he's in the 147 of course. So you've got a couple of different shapes, the 147s and the 156 predominantly within this. Casson Llewellyn is trying to go around the outside of O'Brien at Morris, and he's made it through, but gets a bit grassy on the exit. Might lose a bit of momentum for that, and so O'Brien and I think Richard Ford might be able to take advantage of that as they head along the Bentley Straight, the Senna Straight once again. There's the 23 car of James Ford, so he's third within this class then. So this is 4th, 5th and 6th within the Twin Spark Cup. And this is the kind of racing we've come to expect from the Twin Spark Cup. Usually when I've seen Alfa races over the last few years, it's the Twin Spark Cup where all the action has been. And usually it's been very exciting, rather like this. So there they go through. Just behind them you've got the number 8 car of Luke Powell as well. It's good to see Luke out.
Like he's had some close combat racing, the tyre mark down the side of his Alfa Romeo 147.
I'm reading my notes about him, but I can't read my own handwriting to tell you what it is I wrote down about him the other day. So I do apologise, Luke. It's a slight mystery. But there is Creswell, and he's been in the wars as well, hasn't he? So he's just ahead of the 28 car of Luke Pryleen. He's made up that pace on this lap, of course. But Andrew Bork is a good few seconds ahead of him.
up front went out that lap with a new fastest lap for Graham Seeger, so he's 3.5 seconds ahead of Lascelles now. Tom Hill third, and Scott Austin from the back of the group has got to fourth. So a good run from Scott Austin, who actually he does the fastest lap on, hasn't he? 1 minute 25.47, so fastest lap from the car in fourth position. The Alfa 155 of Scott Austin. So good run this has been from him.
Meanwhile, here's the battle still going on for, well, second backwards in the Twin Spark Cup. We've actually got Luke Crowley in behind, who's not in this class, but then James Ford is in the number 23 car. Bianco racing car, one of the main teams within the Alfa Romeo Championship. And there you can see Ford has now got ahead of the third and final of the Punto Baths. And so he can set off in pursuit of Creswell now. This is the Bork car, isn't it? That you can see coming towards us now, I think. Not seen much of Andrew Bork during the course of the race so far, but there he is. He's just heading into Brundle and Nelson, and there's the second place man, Simon Creswell. So he's now a pretty resounding lead that he has in the Twin Spark Cup.
Not like the earlier race,
No.
where we were by half a minute, I think. There's 23, James Ford turning his way out of Nelson, over the curbs on the exit of the corner. He's now got that Fiat of Luke Prolin between him and the chasing class cars. Everyone's sort of split up a bit now because Llewellyn's got away from O'Brien and Richard Ford. There's a green flag there, so somebody's pulled off and beginning of quorum, it would appear. Meanwhile, up front, it's Graham Seeger that leads by 3.5 seconds over Riccardo Lascelles. Tom Hill third, and he had Scott Austin all over the back of him. So I wonder if Austin will be able to go past Tom Hill. Then the more powerful modified class car of Scott Austin, number 55, should have been able to go past Tom Hill, I would suggest, into third position. There's 23. That is the car driven by James Ford, the Alfa 156. It sort of chucks it in to Ritchie's. Remember, Alfa 156 is, a lot of those were in the National Saloon Car Championship, weren't they? The production class cars, which that championship were kind of killed off by being put into the BTCC in the end.
It was,
so
wasn't it?
You had sort of the likes of Gavin Piper, didn't you, drive these cars, which were, again, not that different spec to these out there now, because they were production cars.
Yeah, probably not, actually, no. So that was, what, early 2000s, I suppose, wasn't it? So time flies. Here's Creswell coming towards us then. He was fourth in the championship last year, third in the Twin Spark Cup behind Hill and Bork in 2019. Bork winner of the championship in 2017. Of the 26 car, which is Steve O'Brien, that lovely looking 147. And there's Richard Thurbin, and he is right behind George Osborne and seems to be having a stronger race again, Josh.
Lancia seems to get better as the race goes on as well, for whatever reason. Thurbin looking to the inside of the Alfa that locks up. The 34 car, George Osborne, the 75. Alfa 75 would that be the oldest car on the grid, I think?
Probably would be, I would think.
Well, I guess the Lancia's...
we know that's a 1990 road car for Italy.
Is going through on the inside here, the Lancia on the Alfa. Number 90, Richard Thurbin goes through. It's ahead of the Alfa 75 of George Osborne, and he shall set off after the Power Trophy leaders, Tom Hill and Dave Messenger. Now about 6 seconds behind Messenger at the end of the lap. You can just about see him there in the distance. Meanwhile, Gavin Seeger continues to lead, but Scott Austin going after Riccardo Lascelles now for second place. And they cross the line side by side for second position, going off down towards Ritchie. So Scott Austin might well be able to get past Riccardo Lascelles there. There's Lascelles in the Mito, and he's behind the 155 of Scott Austin. He's only 4 seconds behind Graham Seeger, and his lap times are quicker. So what can Scott Austin here do? But he locks up. That doesn't help his chase, does it? He locks up, runs wide, but he's still ahead of Lascelles. So 4 seconds, half the race still to go. Scott Austin from the back of the group is now chasing after the GTV of Graham Seeger as they head down towards Brundle Nelson. There are the leading three.
Yeah, so I think we could be in for a good finish this race. We're only just over halfway through. We've had 7 laps. In the earlier race we had, I think it was 14, wasn't it? It was 15, but of course Barry McMullen a bit quicker It's probably a 40-lap race this time, I suspect. So there's Lascelles in 3rd place. Tom Hill, I think, still leading the Power Trophy class in 4th position, a bit further back. Is that a bit of smoke coming from the back of Scott Austin's car there as it disappeared around towards Crum? There's the race leader today, Graham Seeger. There's the 2nd place car of Scott Austin. And there's Lascelles. Oh, and a problem. And that is a wheel that is pointing in the wrong direction. I've diagnosed that one. That is the 22 car of Chris McPhee, one of the punter of Bath. Now,
the other one's gone as well. The 21 car didn't come through on the screens last time, so actually it was a few laps ago. Perhaps that's the problem. You can't have both. Only one of the Pintos finishing.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Oh, and there's the Dave Messenger and Richard Thurbin going side by side. We just saw a glimpse of them. Here they are, and Thurbin's made up another place now. He's up to 4th position,
lapping 3 seconds quicker than Messenger, so we caught him quickly.
And that's because Riccardo Lascelles didn't come through. Right. I don't think.
No, he hasn't.
No, so Riccardo Lascelles not having come through on our timing screens that time. So that's why it's Graham Seeger leading now. 3.8 seconds behind him is Scott Austin, number 55. 3rd is number 1, Tom Hill. 4th now is number 90, Richard Thurbin. And 5th is number 79, Dave Messenger. 6th will be George Osborne in the 34 car.
So Thurbin now 8 seconds behind Tom Hill, but yellow flags down here, I suspect. Presumably there's a breakage on the Fiat Punto.
It doesn't look as if there's any evidence of contact or anything, does there? So yeah, you would think it's a part that's broken.
We've seen quite a bit of curb hopping, haven't we, today? So that could
have damaged something in the internals.
Change for 2nd within the Twin Spark, with James Ford has got past Simon Cresswell and less than 10 seconds away from Andrew Bork. So a big improvement from the chasers within that class in this race, significantly closer to Andrew Bork's lap times. Yes, Bork only 7/10 of a second quicker than Ford. I don't think he's going particularly slower, just everybody else has got faster.
Graham Seeger and Scott Austin have been through again, and they're lapping in sort of similar lap times. The gap between them 4.6 seconds now at the end of lap 9.
The Mito's in the pit lane, so that's where Riccardo Lascelles gone. Good to see it had the pace in that race, but a shame to see it's broken again. I presume so all the admirers in the pit lane can get a closer look.
Yeah, absolutely. Sadly, we can't see it very well from here, from our vantage point on the opposite side of the circuit, which is a shame. It is a good looking point. If I will say that. There it is, as if by magic. We can now get a much better look at it. So for all of the Mito lovers among you, that is a broken Mito, but nevertheless it looked very pretty. Anyway, Graham Seeger it is that continues to lead from Scott Austin in 2nd place, Tom Hill in 3rd. Is this gap going to come down a little between the last sort of 3rd of the race, which is what we've got now? 4.5 seconds between Seeger and Scott Austin at the start of the lap. Seeger champion in 2015, of course.
Sometimes harder to win the championship in the modified classes, isn't it? Because the cars can be less reliable and therefore picking up the points can be more difficult because, of course, if you think about the BTCC when it was a class system, it was rarely the top class cars would win the overall championship. I guess a similar kind of thing here.
That's right. It's definitely something that we've seen before. I mean, more often than not, it has been a Twin Spark Cup car that has won over the past few seasons. I think it's been, 9 years now since the Twin Spark Cup was introduced. And the class structure was changed from something a bit more complicated with about 4 or 5 different classes.
Plenty of cars to lap up in front of Graham Seeger to do shortly, but he's getting away from Scott Austin now. The gap 5.3 seconds. Tom Hill being chased down by Richard Thurbin in that back of the 3rd. Thurbin a couple of seconds faster.
Yeah, I wonder if Seeger got a bit of a wake-up call. I don't know if he's got anyone on the pit wall signalling to him, or otherwise able to realise that Scott Austin was bearing down on him and has just put his clock down a little bit. He did do his personal best lap on the last lap of Graham Seeger, 1:24.51, so that's enabled him to break the trend of Scott Austin closing in on him. And it's a very Graham Seeger type of race, this one, where he seems to be coming on strong when it matters towards the end. Over the line he comes again. This will be, probably 3 laps to go now, I would think.
So it's 11 laps down, isn't it? We suggested it would be 14 laps. Here's the 155 Alfa Romeo. through Ritchie's. Gap coming down again, down to 4.2 seconds on that particular lap. Of course, the Alfa 155 was big lock-up. I was going to say, the Alfa 155 was made famous in the UK by Gabriele Tarquini, wasn't it? Winning the championship and doing spectacular stuff at Knock Hill.
Absolutely, no. That was the vintage year, wasn't it? The British Touring Car Championship.
That was the year I was born.
Oh, Josh, you stop doing this. Anyway, he's flashing his lights. Is 55 Scott Austin. I'm not entirely sure at who, because there's no one immediately ahead of him. But nevertheless, he's letting everyone know that he's there.
Tom Hill now only a couple of seconds ahead of Richard Thurbin. So Thurbin for the overall podium. He's on now in the Lancia Delta Integrale. 1 minute 25.0, his best laps, only a second away from Scott Austin. A bit of a shame, really. Seeger, Austin, and Thurbin didn't all start at the front together, because that could have made a pretty good race, you would have thought. Unfortunately, qualifying means that wasn't possible. But it bodes well for the rest of the season. As you say, Festival Italia next at Brands Hatch, but then returning to the 750 Motor Club for the rest of the season.
Yeah, just having a look at what's going on in the Twin Spark Cup, because we've not mentioned that for a little while. 86 Andrew Bork still leading. He's 12 seconds clear now of number 23 James Ford. 56 Simon Creswell 2, getting Llewellyn 34th. Outright, with 2 laps to go, it's Graham Seeger leading the way by 7 seconds from Scott Austin now, so that gap continues to go out a little bit.
Richard Thurbin has got third across the line, ahead of Tom Hill, by the way. So Thurbin third, Hill down to fourth. There's a car braking just past us.
It is the 59 car, which is Jeremy Chilton from Little Bentley in his 147 that's, I'm afraid, come to a stop just beyond the start line. There it is behind the 750 Motor Club rescue crew, modelling their Torque race suits.
Battle here for second, isn't there, in the Twin Spark Cup, because James Ford has been passed on this particular lap by Simon Cresswell. So Cresswell back for second ahead of James Ford. They've both been caught actually by Geffen and Llewellyn. So where they had the first part of the race in the race 1 together, they're going to finish race 2 as a battle. They've just been lapped by the overall leader, the GTV. Graham Seagull accelerates across the line to start the final lap. Behind him on the road is the battle for second within Twin Spark Cup class. Yellow flags just covering that car that stopped, but it'll be green by the time they go into Ritchie's. And getting the slipstream here is James Ford. So is he going to challenge Simon Cresswell, who feels the need to defend? They're just behind Scott Austin, who we're watching here. And behind, it's still Cresswell, isn't it? Ahead of James Ford for 9th overall and second within the Twin Spark Cup. There they are.
Yeah, and this is, as you say, the final lap. Ford going deep into Wilson that time, but not able to do anything about Cresswell ahead of him. And as you say, Llewellyn right there with them as well. Onto the Bentley straight they come for the final time. Then Andrew Bork about 12 or 13 seconds ahead of these trio that are battling over second place within the Twin Spark Cup class. Down the Bentley straight they come, and it's Cresswell under pressure from James Ford, who goes to the right-hand side of the circuit. And he's not going to be able to do anything through Brundle and Nelson. I'm not sure that Llewellyn is close enough either to make anything happen. So they're heading down towards Coram for the final time. A little bit further round his final lap is Graham Seeger, though. And he's there, still leading the race in the GTV. Heading out of Murray's onto the centre straight for the final time. So it's going to be a win for Graham Seeger to go with the second place that he had earlier on. Checkered flag goes out. Graham Seeger wins in the Alfa Romeo Championship, round 2 of 2020 here at Snetterton. And he is going to come home well clear on the end of Scott Austin, who comes across the line now in second place, 9.3 seconds drift. And third, we'll pick up in a minute, but there is this battle for second in the Twin Spark Cup, which was indeed won by Simon Cresswell. Battle for second won by Simon Cresswell. Andrew Bork won the class. Well, he will do if he gets the car home on the final lap, I guess. James Ford second and Gethin Llewellyn third. Richard Thurbin has come across the line in third place overall in the Lancia as well. Just
across the line there, we saw Tom Hill win the Power Trophy. On the final lap of the race, Graham Seeger did the fastest lap at 1 minute 23.91, so showing he had the pace. He pulled away from Scott Austin when needed and got that fastest lap of the race. So one race win for Barry McMahon and one race win for Graham Steger in the opening weekend with the 750 Motor Club for the Alfa Romeo Championship. And we've been saying, great to see so many of them. Hopefully that continues or even improves as the season goes on. There's the Alfa Romeo GTB. Good to see so many different models too. There's not really that many championships left, is there, in the UK for one mark with a number of different models within it?
No, not at all. I suppose another one that has the BMW Car Club Racing Championship, which we see out as well with the 750 Motor Club, and we'll do next month. We'll see them at Brands Hatch, won't we? I think he's there opening meeting with us. But yes, relatively few examples of champions like this, single mark, multi-model categories. There is Graham Seeger, hand out of the window to show his appreciation to the spectators, the visitors here at Snetterton and the marshals on his slowing down lap, and we'll hear from him in a minute, hopefully, talking with our man Anthony Jordan. There is Mr. McPhee. Oh, yeah, just having a look what's wrong with that wheel, and wondering how he's going to get the car home to the south coast. So, looks like Graham Seeger has just arrived in the pit lane. So I will say once again, we'll go down to Anthony Jordan to talk to our race winner, Graham Seeger.
Graham Seeger, who's just getting out the car now. We'll have a quick chat with him as he unbuckles himself. He's going to jump out the car with us here. Fantastic. Graham, what a race that was. That seemed a nice, relaxed, calm, controlled, great race, fun race.
Well, that's the way to do it, I suppose, yeah. Barry's unfortunately had a problem, so he's not here. After that it was just keep an eye on the others who didn't have such a good first race and to see how quick they were. So yeah, it felt okay. I didn't really have to push too hard. So the car's good to go again next time, yeah.
Very modest, not pushing too hard, but also set the fastest lap of the race as well.
Yeah, but it's not the record.
It's not the record, no, but still a very competitive time out there. I mean, yeah, the car seems great. It seems like it was handling very well out there, and it looked very comfortable to drive. It looked like, yeah, like I said, a pretty calm race.
It is very comfortable to drive. It doesn't like being chucked about. It likes driving really smooth. So yeah, you just have to have confidence in the car. And it suits me because I don't like to rush around anyway. So yeah.
Excellent stuff. I mean, first win for 2020. It's a great way to start the season, and yeah, hope for the best of the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.